Hey everyone, I wanted to show you something fun that I found and how I'm going to incorporate it into our homeschool this fall. So on Amazon I found this Carson DeLosa box, and it's called Seasonal STEM Challenges for grades 2 to 5. They make a regular, like not seasonal one, at least one other one. They may make more, I'm not sure, but this is the one I chose. I thought that it would be fun to just add it in as a fun Friday, and to tie in with whatever kind of seasonal fun thing we're doing. So that's why I chose to go with the seasonal. But let me show you. It's really cool. It breaks down the cards by season. So you have autumn, winter, spring, and summer. And then, let's see. So on the card for the season, it tells you what it includes. So this one has an activity with spiders, Halloween, Thanksgiving, leaves, fall, apples, ghosts, turkeys, and pumpkins. And then on the back, it tells you what kind of STEM topic it's covering. So the one I'm going to talk about today is the apples on top. I'm going to show you the resources that I'm going to use and how I'm going to implement that. But basically the cards, let me pull that one out. There's all different topics. As you can see, winter has snow, New Year's Eve, Groundhog Day, ice, polar bears, holidays, sledding, elves, igloos, and Valentine's Day. And spring summer has roller coaster, St. Patrick's Day, leprechauns, Memorial Day, wind, bubbles, boats, birds, rainbows, pool, kites, flowers, ice pops, and 4th of July. But like I said, the one I'm going to focus on today is apples on top. And I'll show you kind of what resources that I pulled and how we're going to use. We're going to do this one in September because we're going to go visit the apple orchard in September. And this one just fits for us. So it tells you what the challenge is here. Stack a tower of at least 5 apples. The tower must be able to stand alone. And then it tells you the supplies that you should provide the student. And then on the back, if you're having trouble, it gives you a hint of how something that might make it work. And then it kind of explains the science behind it. And so this one talks about gravity and Isaac Newton. And then there's also little extensions from there for each letter of STEAM. So it talks about the parts of an apple for science, technology, engineering. There's art and math. So we're going to do that challenge card, and then what I have pulled to go with it, I always like to include either, so let me show you the resources that I've pulled to go with it. I always like to include books or games into any learning activity that I'm doing with my kids. So let me show you the books that I pulled first. This is a favorite. It's called Ouch. It's about this little hedgehog, and I think this actually might be out of print now, but I will link it down below. You might be able to get a used copy. I got mine from the library. But basically it's about a hedgehog, and you can see an apple falls and lands on her back. And she ends up getting lots of things stuck. And she doesn't fit into her home. But anyway, it's just a fun story. And so I have that one. And I found a little activity on Teachers Pay Teachers, which I will also try to link below, where they just make their own hedgehog and kind of retell the story. I also have this fun one called the Loopy Coop Hens Letting Go. And they're wondering why these apples are falling from the tree. And they first think a fox is throwing them at them. And basically they learn that apples just let go. So it's that whole force of gravity pulls them down. This is a really great kind of nonfiction story to add in. I love their whole series on this National Geographic Kids, but it's just got such beautiful photographs. So we have that one. Then I also wanted to add just a book about gravity. And so I pulled this Let's Read and Find Out About Science. Gravity is a Mystery. And then there wasn't a lot on Isaac Newton that I liked. I did find this older book at the library that I might reference, and it does, let's see, there is a page in here that talks about Let me see. Oh yeah, it talks about the apple and whether or not that story was true. So I may reference this one called Newton's Rainbow. I also have from Teachers Pay Teachers an apple life cycle activity. So we'll do that. And then lastly, I found this book called Newton and Me. Newton is the dog. And it's just as kind of a rhyming story that goes through the day of this little boy and his dog Newton and all the things that happen and that he realizes about the things he's doing, about how the ball rolls and how the ball reacts when he throws it into the air. And at the end, he realizes that there's kind of a scientific reason for all the things that happened about the forces of motion. And it explains about them all in the back. So, those are the books and the resources that we have that we're going to use with one of the activities. If you're interested, I will show each one that we're going to do, what the resources are that we're going to do with it. But so let me know if you'd like to see that. But I just think this is going to be a really fun addition to our homeschool and an extra little way to add in some fun science and, tie in books and games again as well. So if you have any questions, let me know. If not, I'll link everything down below.